In ancient Rome, citizens had a full name composed of various elements changing over time. The names they created could mean anything, from the simplicity of farm life to the glory of conquering an empire. I intend to explore the range with which they approached in creating names, down to even the praenomen, as well as the foreign names of people who interacted with the Romans and who were named by them. The main parts of a Roman name were the praenomen, the nomen, the cognomen, and the agnomen. Let's try that a couple times. Praenomen, nomen, cognomen, agnomen. Praenomen, nomen, cognomen, agnomen. Praenomen, nomen, cognomen, agnomen. Ooh, what a tongue twister. The first name was the praenomen, given at birth and often passed down from the father's name, and then brothers and so on, which generally established similar praenomina within a specific family. They were used to distinguish between a man's sons as well, each usually having a different praenomen common to their ancestral history. The second name, the nomen gentilicium, or just nomen, was a family name used the same way that we use our last names today. It established your ancestral heritage, stretching back in some cases to the founding of the Republic, the kingdom, and even further back to the ancient gods. This served the purpose of distinguishing which group you belonged to, patrician, or patrician, or plebeian, and carried a lot of weight behind it because the more prominent families were beyond wealthy and often had long military and political careers, which you as a mere commoner would recognize as fast as the name Washington. Everyone in the same family of nomen belonged to a gens. The third name was the cognomen, originally a nickname given to a person which described their physical appearance, their personality, their place of origin, or recorded an accomplishment. Over time, these cognomina were adopted by families into their nomina in order to distinguish the various branches from each other and tie descendants back to an illustrious ancestor. Since the praenomen only had a few choices, and the nomen was specific, people were either going to get unique nicknames all the time, or some structure would have to be added. These branch families were referred to as a stirps. These three comprised praenomina, or three names of a Roman. This is more idealistic than real, and often in practice differed quite a bit, yet this is the classical approach to what is seen as a Roman name. I should also mention here that this system did not apply to women, slaves, and foreigners. It was reserved for male Roman citizens. The fourth name, the agnomen, was a nickname a person acquired in a similar fashion to the cognomen, which could also be added to the cognomen overall. We can use Fabius Maximus as a good example of these conventions. His full name, and I'll do this slowly, is Quintus Fabius Maximus Verrucosus Cunctator, and broken apart you can understand how it functions. Quintus is a praenomen common to his ancestors, one of the oldest being Quintus Fabius Vibulanus. Fabius is the nomen which has been combined with the cognomen Maximus to represent the branch his family belonged to. Maximus began with his grandfather or great-grandfather, Quintus Fabius Maximus Rullianus. His personal cognomen, Verrucosus, meant warty, and his agnomen, Cunctator, meant the delayer, a noun from the verb cunctate, which was not complimentary, and a commentary on his preferred strategy, the Fabian strategy, which relied on scorched earth and guerrilla tactics to defeat Hannibal, rather than the typical Roman strategy of fighting large battles. Another excellent contender in his contemporary, junior and arguable usurper in legacy, Scipio Africanus. His full name was Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus. Publius was a well-known praenomen. His family were the Cornelii Scipions, Scipio being the cognomen, which also means staff, and originating from an ancestor over 200 years ago called Publius Cornelius Melanesiensis Scipio. Africanus comes from his victory over Hannibal and the Carthaginians in Africa, defeating Rome's greatest enemy. Roman history is filled with names just like this, and in some cases far stranger. I will begin documenting these names to create a catalog in order for people to learn about them and the legacy they left behind.